this first video, this house owner would wake up one morning to find his cell phone completely missing. The house owner lives alone, and this would be enough to make him check his home security cameras. And disturbingly, this would reveal what had happened. Rather than showing the house owner simply misplaced his phone, the cameras had caught some unknown man walking around inside the house. It turns out the man let himself in through an unlocked back door, and only minutes later can be seen crawling around the bedroom of the house owner, who the whole time was asleep and completely unaware of what was taking place just a few feet away from him. The man can be seen stealing the house owner's phone, which would end up being the only thing stolen, but most disturbingly is the fact that the man can be seen holding a knife in his mouth proves this man came prepared for confrontation. Had the house owner woken up during the break-in, things definitely could have ended a lot worse than just a stolen cell phone. April 2022 in San Bernardino, K. A couple would capture this footage on a home security camera placed in their bedroom. The video shows a man who, just a few moments before, had broken into the house. He walks around the couple's bedroom as they're sleeping just next to them. While covering his face with some sort of cloth, he silently rummages through some of their belongings. At times, he also just strained upstairs at the couple as they were lying there. Later, he would be coming on a different camera, and this one in the living room. He walks right past the couple's son and his night nurse, both also sleeping. From there, he unlocks the front door and lets himself out a few minutes later. Now Conan, the doorbell camera. He's seen coming back, though by this point the night nurse had woken up and noticed him at the door. He would then simply tell her to lock the door because it wasn't safe to keep it open, taking his advice. She does, completely unaware that he had broken into the house only a few minutes prior. Men had originally gone into the house through a slightly opened window. It was open to keeping medical equipment cool, which was used to help the couple's son breathe. In the morning, the couple would notice their wedding rings and some cash missing. They would review their security cameras, and that's when they would first see this footage. The man has since been tracked down by police using DNA evidence. He's currently being investigated for committing multiple additional crimes of the same nature on other homes that didn't have security cameras. This home security footage was captured in the middle of the night, and it shows a man dressed in a Michael Myers costume walking into the frame and eventually running up to the house's front door. The man can be seen holding what looks like a knife and wastes no time trying to open the door. After realizing it's launched, the man simply walks off, but only to return 2 more times to again try and open the door. On the 3rd try, the man can even be seen attempting to use his knife to assist him in getting the door open. But luckily, after being unsuccessful, the house owners would never see this supposed home intruder again. This couple was on vacation in Zimbabwe. The house they were staying at had a pool, and so on the night of October 27th, 2016, they can be seen by one of the home security cameras going for a late-night swim. And that's when, practically out of nowhere, a crocodile can be seen walking up to and eventually leaping into the pool. This would cause the couple to desperately attempt to get out of the water. Luckily, both of them would survive, with the woman only receiving minimal cuts on her shoulder and elbow. And the crocodile would later be relocated back into the wild, where no human contact was possible. This home security camera footage captured the break-in of a home in Wichita, KS. It was the night of May 8, 2020 at 2:30 a.m., shown as 15-year-old Anaya Robinson sleeping on the couch in the living room with the TV on. Then from around the corner appears a man. This man had only moments earlier broken into the house. When he sees the night on the couch, he doesn't react. Instead, he stays inside and just stands there watching her. This went on for several minutes until Anaya woke up. When she opened her eyes, she saw the man right above her. Seeing him, she screamed for her mother. At that point, the intruder fled the home. Police would immediately called by Anaya's mother by the time they got there. The intruder was long gone. Strangely, the men stole nothing. The family thoroughly searched but discovered nothing was missing. This brand questions the man's true intent here. What exactly he was trying to achieve that night is unclear. This footage is the only piece of evidence relating to the incident. Therefore, police weren't able to ascertain how the man entered the house. Additionally, they didn't find out who he was. Even today, this man still hasn't been identified. This video shows the footage from one family's home security camera that was placed in their living room. At first, all seems normal, but the men in the footage then begin to hear the song, "Somebody's Watching Me Play." It's not coming from the TV, and what I assume is his wife claims she isn't playing it.
What is that? What was that noise? I heard like singing. Did you change the ringer on your phone or something?
No.
You can hear that? There. What? You hear that? Stop it. I know you're gonna game it.
Somebody's watching me. My phone is in my purse. It's not you?
I swear to God, it's not me.
It's not me.
I always feel like somebody's watching me. Is what you said. That's all. Which is kind of weird. Seeing the camera over there.
That's something, but it's coming from the TV.
Yeah. And it was. I always feel like somebody's watching me. That's all.
Somebody's looking. I said that it's me.
There it is.
You're crazy to think coming from your camera.
It turns out this song once came from his camera. Someone had hacked a live feed that included audio controls and began playing music that in this context is pretty disturbing. There are multiple different ways this could have been done. Most camera feeds are broadcasted online through applications that allow anyone to access the camera with proper credentials. And some applications make it shockingly easy to bypass this, even when they don't. Other methods such as phishing and various social engineering attacks can be used to grant someone access. This video isn't the only example of this. There are many other similar videos out there.
What's the song? What was the song? I feel like somebody watching me. Come to the camera.
The full concept is often known as IP camera trolling, and it's a bit of a rabbit hole. Multiple YouTube and Twitter accounts have posted these types of videos online. A lot of them will play songs, trying to get a reaction from the camera owner, and others will speak into the camera. For example, they'll come in on what is happening, and they'll insert themselves into a conversation. Or they'll attempt to spook the camera owner by using a ghostly voice, all in an attempt to garner a reaction unknown to the people in the videos. These reactions are then posted online for others to view. A lot of people see it as a harmless prank. It's pretty much known as its genre of video at this point. There are even tutorial videos out there explaining how to do it. And obviously, you've done it with the wrong intent. And this is much more dangerous just to touch the surface. Individuals can use access to these cameras to collect images and recordings for blackmail or extortion purposes. I mean, there's no way everyone gaining access to these cameras is simply looking for some funny reaction. Nowadays, while not all of them, a lot of these accounts and videos have been removed. But stuff like this still happens. Videos similar to these will still occasionally show up on the internet. This home security camera in Overland Park, KS captured the home robbery of 21-year-old Katie O'Connor, though this didn't occur while she was out with it. Instead, Katie was home and held hostage while the robbery was taking place. Near the bottom left of the screen, you can see a man holding her in a headlock while another man and woman take her belongings, all while she can do nothing but watch. More incentivizing is how the three got in the house in the first place. As it turns out, the woman walking around the house, Cheyenne Watts, who was also taking part in the robbery, was up until that point when Katie would consider a good friend. They were friends for a while and would even schedule play dates for their children. And so earlier this day, when Cheyenne went up to Katie's door, she was, of course, let in without question. By completely unknown to Katie this time, she had brought two other men with her who all had the intent to hold her hostage in her own home as the three of them robbed her. Eventually, the man holding Katie in the headlock would notice a cord and assume it was for a camera somewhere in the home.
Lock the door. Don't say that. Okay, where's the people replacement? Where's the replacement?
It's a Wi-Fi. It's not there. It's wireless. I'm not trying to get this.
Finally, the three locate the camera and point it away from them, but they fail to unplug it, which wouldn't matter anyway, because the whole thing was already being uploaded to the cloud in real time. However, because they didn't unplug it, you can hear them begin to turn on each other as they realize there's nothing they can now do to get rid of the footage, as again, all of it is already stored on an offsite hard.
No. No, don't put this on there.
Everybody's talking to him. Shut up.
Finally, they unplug the camera. But of course, it's already too late. Still, the three proceed with the robbery, and in the end, they leave with a set of tools, a safe, and cash Katie had saved up for school and rent. Fortunately, Katie would end up getting out of the situation unharmed. Later, Cheyenne and one of the men would be found and arrested by police. However, the other man and the one that Hello Kitty is in a headlock have yet to be found. Regular home security cameras are not the only type of cameras susceptible to hacking. Anything connected to an IP network can be accessed. So this can include things like an integrated webcam and a laptop or even a baby monitor. A couple in Cincinnati, would experience this firsthand when a baby monitor they had for their 10-month-old daughter was hacked into in the middle of the night. The mother had woken up to the sound of a man's voice coming from Donna's room. She would then open her phone to view the baby monitor's live feed. That's when she noticed the camera was moving, but she wasn't moving it from her phone. It was doing it by itself.
sound asleep about midnight. All of a sudden I heard, it sounded like a man's voice, but you know, I was so asleep I wasn't sure. About the time I saw it moving, I also heard a voice again start screaming at my daughter.
The two would rush into the room, and that's when the camera turned from the couple's daughter to the couple themselves. Forensically, they unplugged the camera, cutting the feed. It's hard to believe the whole situation was simply an attempt to get some sort of reaction from the couple, especially considering it was a baby monitor camera that was being hacked. But at the end of the day, there's no way of knowing for sure what the intentions were. On an early morning in July of 2016, a woman living in Chicago would discover that her purse had gone missing. Both the woman and her boyfriend would attempt to retrace their steps in the hopes of locating where it had been left, and this would ultimately lead them to go back and check the footage of their home security camera. Horrifyingly, when they would rewind the footage to 3:30 a.m., it would reveal a hooded figure walking around the upstairs of their house. Only a few hours prior, the couple had mistakenly fallen asleep on the couch watching TV, which would cause them to forget to lock the doors into their house, and this would allow the intruder to get inside the house completely undetected. The intruder would stand at the top of the stairs for around 10 full minutes, seemingly contemplating whether to go down the stairs or not. But finally, he would leave with nothing but the woman's purse. Some other nearby residents had reported having seen the same guy around the neighborhood and had even caught him on camera again lurking around, but the guy still hasn't been caught. This video features a montage of clips taken over 5 months. The first clip is in January 2017 and shows a man in a car pulled next to a woman and asking her if she needed a ride. The woman would respond, saying she lived just right here, but would later go on to regret telling the man this, as just the next day the same car can be seen lingering around just outside her home. Over the next few days, the car can continually be seen driving by watching the house. Eventually, the man can confront the woman again, and this time tells her he could use some help around his house. The woman would refuse to help the man, but this wouldn't stop him. Later, the same man can be seen, this time in a different car, leaving a note in the house's mailbox. The note again stated that he could use some help around the house, but this time he wrote down his phone number. The woman obviously wouldn't call the number, but instead called the police to report the situation. One comment suggested that the man was most likely just waiting for the right moment for the woman.